welcome to the Nitschke Podcast. Today, really thrilled. Thank you, Brett Gabel. Thank you for your time today. Thanks for being a part of the podcast.
Thank you, Michael. Really appreciate that. You know, it's always meaningful and great to chat with you, because it's like every time I've talked with you, we've always had a great, respectful relationship in that sort of aspect.
I totally agree, and we've known each other a long time, and again, thank you for coming along today. For those of you that don't know you, Brett, can you share a little bit about yourself and your background?
Absolutely, yeah. Look, my mum and dad were originally Barossa people, and I was born in Barossa, and then they moved around Australia. I joined the army and was a musician in the army for 23 years, and in that time my dad actually got a job at Chapman's Meats.
Nairne.
So that's where the relationship with Nairne comes from, and it's like every time I would come home from leave, it was like Mum would take me to have lunch with Dad at Chapman's. So they lived in Balhanna at the time, and it was always that drive down Bald Hills Road, into Dad, have lunch with Dad, back home again.
Love it. Awesome. And Nairne, obviously, I actually didn't know that about the origin for you with Nairne. Nairne's a big part of your life. Of course, you're one of the big drivers and implementers of NairneChat, which is I have to say, obviously, there's a lot of community groups on social media for the various towns and Adelaide Hills and all these sort of ones out there. I'd have to say NairneChat is easily one of the better run ones that I've seen, and you do an incredible job. It's not easy to moderate an online community in 2022.
Believe me.
So how did that all come about?
Okay, well, it's like, when Deb, my wife, and I were looking for somewhere to live, you know, we were looking all around the hills, and we ended up in Nairne, and...
I remember when you were looking.
Yes, because we came looking to you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the funny thing is that we went looking for information about the area, and all the online forums were very generalistic, and anything that was local to Nairne wasn't really sort of open and giving much information out. And it's like I really got frustrated when I wanted to go to a memorial service for the veterans, and the only thing I could find out was at Littlehampton. And I thought, surely Nairne would have something on because they've got a cenotaph there and everything else. And it was about a couple of days later that I discovered, yes, there was, and there was no information about it. And I thought, well, we need to do something about that. We need to give people an opportunity of somewhere where they can talk. And also it was about people were voicing to me their frustrations about not being able to get their voice heard to council and to other avenues about things that were happening on in the community as well too. So just being able to give people a place where we ask that they be respectful to each other, and that they realise that there's ups and downs to every community as well too. You know, it's like it's a community isn't just happening about all the good things that happen, because sometimes there are bad things that happen in the community.
Of course.
And we've got to be respectful of people when they want to voice that too. So, you know, it's like we're on top of that. You know, we try to be on top of that as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, look, you do a great job. And I think, you know, like the online censorship space is such a slippery slope, because again you want to be an authentic representation of the Nairne community. I really do. You know, we're uniquely placed in what we do every day, because we're speaking to local residents and people that have an interest in moving into the area, whether they're looking to rent or buy and everything in between. And you know, I can honestly say that the interactions in there are such a great authentic representation of that community, and what a time to do it, you know, because Nairne, if it's not the oldest, it's one of the oldest towns in South Australia, to my knowledge, and it's, in the last decade in particular, the growth has been immense. Like, it's changed so much. And then to have NairneChat, because how many years now has it been running roughly, is it, do you know?
Coming up to its 6th year.
Yeah, I thought it was most of that time. Yeah. So you've really kind of, in a way, encapsulated that journey of the growth.
Well and truly.
You've probably seen it in growth in the group.
Yeah, when we moved in, you could drive down the main street and it would be 2 or 3 cars down the main street.
Yeah.
You go down the main street now and it's like you're lucky if you can find a car park.
I was about to say that. Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it?
We've got some great businesses coming into Nairne that are really showing trust in the Nairne community.
It's awesome.
And just such an eclectic group of businesses coming in too. You know, it's like you've got Haven and Little Miss Waistnot and that sort of thing, and the cafes and all that sort of thing. And so many more that are being proposed to come in now as well.
Really
that
exciting.
Trust and having Foodland now there as well, nobody needs to leave.
No. Right where Dad used to work.
Exactly right. Yes, exactly right. You know what? It's like the funny thing about that. I've got to tell you a little story about that. It's it's only when we moved into Nairne that my wife and I were chatting away, and next thing she turns around, she goes, "I didn't realise it, but I now remember that I used to come with my dad in his truck and deliver pigs to Chapman's as well."
Ah, wow.
So there's a dual relationship with Ned from both of us. So we're meant to be, yeah.
Yeah, you're staying now, which I think would be the case either way, because it's a wonderful area to live in. It's funny, like, so my career in real estate, like Nairne's always been a great part of the world, but I think really the catalyst that kind of put it on the map to a degree was obviously the new freeway exit when that came in, because the argument from a lot of buyers was always that, it's just that little bit too far out, which seems ridiculous now when you look at the sprawl of the local area. But now, not only has Nairne got that freeway exit, but it's self-sufficient now with, you've got a 24-hour gym now happening, wonderful restaurants, the coffee shops you share, the schools just going from strength to strength. There's lots going on. You've got a roundabout. How good is that?
Oh, yeah, the access now. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that took a while.
But you know what? It only takes 30 to 40 minutes to get into the city from Nairne. Now, it takes longer than that from some of the suburbs that are closer to the city itself in Adelaide.
It does. Well, even, like, I'd say it's quicker to get to from Nairne to town than some of the newer subdivisions in Mount Barker, just with the weaving you have to do and the infrastructure challenges. And, I know the layout of Nairne is not perfect, but it is a lot easier to navigate than Mount Barker, for example. So that's a huge strength.
We do have a little bit of an issue because on one side of the road we've got the railway and then the other side the creek. So, that sort of challenges some of the design for like the main street and that sort of thing as well too.
Yes.
But on the other side of things, it's like bringing in the roundabout has really changed the situation for us. Having access with the new development that's being planned there as well, that will bring a different situation with the school traffic as well too. So
still work to be done, that's for sure. But come a long way, and I know a lot of advocating and really a lot of that through NairneChat. There's been a lot of that community efforts and response coming through. What's been some of the biggest challenges, I guess, moderating a group like that?
Some of the characters, it's like when somebody has a concern in the community, it's like it might be something that's happened negative to them.
Yeah.
And they voice it, and then you have other people turn around and go, well, and try to bring that down as a value that they themselves have, and it's actually concerned them. So it's something that concerns them, that worries them. So it's like they're trying to express that. They don't need to be brought down about that concern. That concern is something that may actually concern the whole community.
Yeah, very true. And the reality with the community too is there's always going to be a range of ideals and opinions. People coming from all different backgrounds. It's what makes Nairne so great. But it does mean that there's going to be some healthy debate. Like, it's okay to disagree. Just don't get personal. Yes,
exactly right. Spot on. Yeah, as soon as something becomes personal and we start get people expressing things which it's like maybe lynch mobs and that sort of thing, it's like, well, hang on, that's not okay.
Gone too far.
Yeah. It's like, and let's not get personal and start calling people names and that sort of thing. There's no need for that. It's like, let's keep it on almost at a professional level without being on a professional level, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
It's common respect for each other.
Yeah, well said. In terms of Nairne as a community, where do you see, like, obviously we've looked at this last decade's been incredible. What do you think the next 10 years are going to look like?
You know what? Nairne is in such a position that it's smack bang in the middle of so many high quality, worldwide, attractive locations like the Monarto complex, like Lot 100, Howard's, Mount Barker. Then you go all the outlying towns, where it's just booming, and we're smack bang in the middle of that.
It's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Oh, I'd love to see the trains become like a cruise ship thing, where the train actually stops for half a day or a day in Nairne.
Day trip in Nairne.
And day trip in Nairne, yeah.
Well, you keep stacking up those kind of attractions and the variety. I mean, it's going to bring, and it already is, as you say, about the main street. I remember the era very well, where not only was it you could drive straight through the town, but there was like all the commercial shops were vacant. Now you struggle to find a vacancy as a business coming in, which is just so exciting. So,
and it's still a mix of residential in the main street too. So
it's nice.
It's nice, exactly. You know, it's not, you're not going to get overcrowded. You're not going to become Harndorf, basically. Right. Yeah. Harndorf has its place. It's a tourist destination, well and truly.
Sure.
And we're a must-visit destination, but for a different sort of ideal.
I agree. No, I love it. And your involvement within the Nairne community extends beyond, obviously, moderating a community forum. You're very involved in a chapter of the Lions group. Can you share a little bit about what's happening there?
Yeah, I'm with the Lions, and we actually meet at the Nairne railway station.
Brilliant.
And one of the things that's been on the Lions' radar for a long time has been maintaining the railway station as a place for the Lions to meet. My vision goes beyond that. My vision goes beyond and making into a place that it's available for the whole community to use. You know, it's a word that I say, it's criminal that we've got such a beautiful location that gets used for a couple of hours every month when it should be available for the whole community to use.
Great.
Whenever it's available, you know. And it's like we've been working behind the scenes a lot, and the railways department itself has turned around to me and said that they're going to start repairs on the ceiling and the roof very shortly. We've started extra work on the roadway outside, so for parking and that sort of thing. And we also take care of Bill Joyce Park as well. So we're looking at beautifying that a little bit more to make it more welcoming to visitors to stop and have a picnic and for kids to have a play and that sort of thing too. So we've got a lot of things on our radar which we're actually working on little by little, but we're all volunteers.
Yeah, that's an important thing.
It takes a lot of our time, but we've still got to maintain and balance some home life for the members as well as community service as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you guys do wonderful service, obviously, within the community, and being all volunteers too. You know, we all have a finite amount of time, and you're quite right, you need that personal balance as well.
Yeah.
But that'd be great to see the it's called the Mick Murphy Park, isn't it?
Bill Joyce.
Bill Joyce, sorry.
Bill
Yeah,
Joyce,
I'm thinking of a different one. But yeah, the
Bill
Joyce
Joyce Park. The other one, which is being developed in Main Street as well too, by the council.
Very true, very true. So I got my parks mixed up.
But, no, that's fantastic.
That would be great. That's that one just as you come in before
the
Burton Street
railway
on the
one.
right. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely showing its age a little bit. It'd be nice to beautify that and make it a real attraction for the community.
But you know what? There's so much to offer. Like you said, with people coming through, that we want to make it an attractive location for them to stop to.
Yeah, awesome.
So it's not just with the businesses, it's also making them feel comfortable. They can stop and have a picnic in the park and have a run around in the park, watch the trains. It's incredible the amount of people that actually stop to take photos and film the trains going by.
Yeah.
And it's like, anytime anybody's going past and they see an orange car sitting out the front, that's me. Come and say hello and I'll show them through the railway station. You know, more than welcome. But we'd also love to welcome anybody that'd love to join the Lions to come and help with doing things in the community too.
Yeah, well, and I think, I mean, your passion, anyone that spends some time talking to you about the community and Lions, and even today on the podcast, Brett, like I think anyone that can join and help you with the work that you guys are doing would be awesome. Any other closing comments you've got about Nairne and just generally, you've shared a lot today. I really appreciate it. You know what?
We could go on all day about Nairne, really. It's
like, I love it.
The thing is, Nairne is becoming recognised as being the must-live place in the Adelaide Hills, because we still have space, we still have room, and even though some of the local residents say that that's being eroded away, it's still there.
Yeah.
And we're in a unique position at the moment where we can sort of monitor how things get developed and try and have a voice with the developers and the council and say to them, this is how we'd like to see it go and all that sort of thing as well too. So that's unique in that ability as well. So, and we do have that capability, but people need to say something before it happens too, rather than after it happens.
That's right. Yeah, you don't want to sort of after the fact complain about it. It's like, look, if you want a voice, there's forums out there, not just online forums, but platforms like the Lions that you can contribute to the community,
Yes.
have a voice and have an impact. But look, I agree with you. I think Nairne is a very, very special place. My wife, Kat, grew up in the town. My in-laws have a lot of family still there. And just Nairne in general is so popular with people moving into the area.
Yeah.
I know that can be a controversial topic for some of the
Yes.
locals that say, stay out, we want our town. But remember, most of us were new to the area at some point.
Exactly right. Spot on.
So you got to pay it forward.
But then at the same time, we've got wonderful agents like yourself managing sale of
Thank
properties and that sort of thing too. And it's like, I've got to say to you, Michael, it's like my first interactions with you when I first met you was just glowing. It's like you were so respectful in how you dealt with people, and still to this day with some of your agents that I keep in contact with as well. You know, they follow up, all that sort of thing as well too. So, you know, well respected, mate.
Thanks,
Well done.
Brett. Thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of the Nitschke Podcast today. We'll definitely get you back on as a repeat guest
Oh, thank you.
with a Nairne update.
Yeah.
All the best and thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brett.